Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astroguide Mysore. So today let us talk about Amavasya. What does actually happen when moon and sun both come together? So astronomically, when we go through this particular thing, we should understand that moon, sun, moon, and earth are aligned. If they are totally aligned in their, you know, um, kranti, that is the angle, then what actually happens is that it happens, the grahana happens. The grahana means the eclipse, the solar eclipse. But on a regular day, when the alignment is not happening, then the earth, the moon, and the sun, you cannot see the moon when it rises in an Amavasya. It rises along with the sun, mostly along with the sun. So, what is an Amavasya and what are the degrees of moon and sun on an Amavasya is important to understand how actually the Amavasya or the new moon affects a native. So, we can see that Amavasya happens when moon is in between the 12-degree mark behind sun. So that means one from ascendant, if I draw a line to sun, and I see where sun is and what is the angle from ascendant to sun, let us say it is 270 degrees. So that is in the ninth house. So that's after the ninth house, starting of the 10th house. So moon between, that is behind sun, 12 degrees behind sun, that is 258 degrees. 258 degrees plus 2 degrees is 260 degrees, and then plus 10 degrees is 270 degrees. So within one tithi, that tithi means 12 degrees is one tithi, that is Amavasya tithi. So when it enters into 258, and the difference between the longitudes of sun and moon, let us say it is less than 12 degrees, then it is called to be Amavasya. So Amavasya does not mean that moon and sun are on the same degree. So it means there is a gap between moon and sun. So moon is also shining bright in the sky, but the problem is that you cannot see it anymore. It is not shining on the face facing towards earth, but it is getting all the radiation from sun and it is absorbing it and it is putting it towards earth. The whole of the gravity of moon also increases double on an Amavasya, and what actually it does is it pulls all the subtle elements of earth towards itself. The air, the water, everything gets pulled. Even the crust of earth bulges in that particular place where it is pulling it. So the bulge is very insignificant for us to measure as human beings with a measuring tape. But you can see the tides rising very high on an Amavasya and also on a Paurnami, because there's too much of action on both Paurnami and Amavasya. Particularly on an Amavasya, because both sun and moon are aligned towards one end, because earth is on the receiving end, on this end, moon is very near to earth and then far away sun is there. So all three are aligned. So what will happen is the sun's power, the moon's power, combined power on that particular angle of 10 degrees or 12 degrees will keep hitting earth, and that particular part starts to tremble. When whole earth, the crust, the living beings are affected in such a way that the water level itself rises 5 to 6 feet or more than that. Sometimes 10 feet water rises in the ocean. The tide rises. You can see the Amavasya tide. It simply rises very high and actually inundates much part of many islands get inundated. They get submerged many places. They are only available on, on other days like Saptami and Ashtami. Many islands are not even visible because they are very much to the surface of the ocean. So when they can do that much, we are like dust particles. So the water in our brain, that brain is filled with a lot of fluids. Brain is not a solid matter. If you, as science says, if you dry the brain and dry it and dry it and dry it and powder it and put it, you can put it in a small box. The solid matter is extremely less. So the brain is filled with fluids, lot of interaction, lot of electrical pulses going on. So when this fluid starts to, go through the waves of the tides because of the pull, the gravitational pull of sun and moon, you can see extraordinary behavior. People, going mad, people performing excellent. Both sides happen. So that is why muhurtas on Amavasya and Purnami I'll speak about it exclusively later. But muhurtas and Amavasya, muhurta means election of a particular time, an auspicious time for an auspicious event, a human event on earth, like building a house, digging a borewell, digging a well for drinking water, or planting a sapling. You don't do it on Amavasyas. You don't even start taking a particular new medication on an Amavasya. No, you do it on a good date, on a good nakshatra. That is the nakshatra, is the constellation. So, an Amavasya is having so much of power. So, people keep asking me, is it evil, sir? Is it so wrong? It is so bad that Amavasya will destroy everything. No, it doesn't destroy. By the so many Amavasyas, we have seen thousands of Amavasyas. The earth is still spinning in the same speed, and human beings are all living here. But the problem is on that particular day of Amavasya, that 12 degrees of moon which shifts from 105th, 62nd degree to the 180 degree. That is, if I say 0 from sun, then it is coming from 348th degree, 348th degree to the 360 degree, that is 0 to sun. And then from there, the Padya means the first Tithi or the Pratami. It is also important. Don't think that, sir, sun, the moon I have in my chart is 1 minute more than sun, sir. That means it is in Pratami. Amavasya does not exist. It will be foolish to tell that moon one minute behind sun is extremely Amavasya effective, and then 1 degree moon in front of sun is hopelessly bad. It is not there. No Amavasya is gone. No, that is wrong way of trying to tell. We need to take the proximity of the moon from either side, but we don't call the moon sitting ahead of sun as Amavasya, but we call moon sitting behind sun for 12 degrees as Amavasya. That's all. So that doesn't mean that the effectiveness dies. That is why the Muhurta, you do not perform any good deed on an Amavasya and also on a Pratami. No. Pratami and Amavasya are to be Varjya. Varjya means to be left out. Totally left out. Only Devata Karya, Dhyana, that is to do puja to the god, which is, anyway, you don't have anything else to do on that day, and some commercial activity has to happen. So people have made unnecessarily arrangements that somehow people have to come out and spend their money. That's a different thing. But actually, what you should do on an Amavasya is take bath, be clean, think clean, and sit and do meditation. If you can afford some time of peacefulness, be silent. If you are able to do this much on an Amavasya, I think the world will be at peace. Crackpots will not suddenly exit out of their house, drive on their bikes at full speed, go crash into something, and a bad news at home. So that doesn't happen on an Amavasya. Traveling particularly has to be cautiously done on an Amavasya, because the brain suddenly goes through huge emotional fluctuations, and the person, he might lose his control on what he is doing. So that's one thing. But is it always bad? No. Amavasya means a person who is born on Amavasya. Let us say this. Amavasya means a person has double consciousness. He can see the right thing and the wrong thing very clearly separated. There is no gray area for this fellow. He can take a decision in a split second that this is what I want to do, this is what I don't want to do. He does not, keep dilly-dallying between things and telling that, okay, I can do this, I can also do this, I'll also do this, I'll marry this girl. Oh, no, 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 I think this girl is fine. This guy never gets married. A person who has an Amavasya well posited and strong in the chart has a strong perception and has a strong, will, and also knows what to do. The focus is very good. So people who are achievers, people who can do extraordinary human, performance, they are the people who are born on Amavasyas. Big personalities are born on Amavasyas. The problem here is to understand whether this Amavasya, that is the position of moon and sun, even the Padya has to be taken in this particular subject, because ahead of sun also it has the same strength until it is around 7 degrees. So this particular day of Amavasya can either be positive or be negative. So now how can one understand whether it is positive or negative? So one has to see the concept of character building and how the person relies on ethics. So this has to be seen by the whole chart. Once the whole chart is studied from the lagna, the drakana, to understand the behavioral pattern and all this, then you come to know that this is what is the person. He is like this. And then if he has an Amavasya, this whole thing will become big and he will project it as his character. So if the person is weak in character and negative in character, pessimistic in character, if he is cynicism is his base of character, then this pessimism will become the force, because the Amavasya will simply lift whatever is there in the chart and put it forth in front. Amavasya has the power to simply take what is in the chart and make it a reality. So the point is, whether it's good, then good reality. Whether it is bad, then bad reality. It is a direct difference between Bhima and Duryodhana. I'm just taking Mahabharata because Bhima, an innocent, straightforward, simple, happy person in Mahabharata, is only one person, that is Bhima. There was no, he had no manipulations. He could not manipulate. He was a simple, normal human being, a very innocent person, but was on the right side. He was thinking right. The Duryodhana, he was also so strong, muscular, as good as Bhima. Samabala, there were 5 people: Kichaka, Duryodhana, Bhima, I think the other Jarasandha, and other one I think is one more. I think all the 4 were, that is the Pakasura. So all the 4 were killed by Bhima in Mahabharata because he was the only one capable of doing it. So the point here I am trying to stress is, the chart, if it shows a bad, loose character person with an Amavasya, that bad, unethical character will be projected, and that person will use all his negative thoughts to live his life. If a person is having a simple, normal, happy going person with an Amavasya, that person will be simple, happy going, but very forcibly into, let us say, an industrialist who gives a lot of jobs to people. There are many people who are unmarried and still industrialists and giving jobs to people. Industrialist doesn't mean that he simply has to make money, keep building an empire without giving, a good salary or opportunity to people. So you should understand who has an Amavasya rather than fearing for an Amavasya itself. So it can put a person either very much on the negative side or very much on the positive side. So Amavasya means there is a double consciousness. One is the consciousness of righteousm, that is being righteous, that we call it as dharma pravrutti, that is sun. Always talking about dharma. This is the policy, this is how we have to run, this is how we are. We will never budge from our righteousness. That is the sun. The conscious intellect and the real consciousness of emotions as to what the society requires, what is good, what is bad, this is how we have to live in the society. All this is the moon. That is what is father and mother. The father tells, you have to be like this. The mother doesn't tell you have to be like this. She will come, hug you, kiss you, and do something, and then she will tell you, see, son, you have to be like this, okay? So the same thing she tells in a different way. The father is like very stern, straight. That is what is son. That is what is sun is father, and moon is mother. So this type of consciousness, double consciousness, is there in Amavasya, and because moon is a very small entity in front of sun, and it's like it's sitting on sun or very near to sun, it gives away the emotion, it burns away. So Amavasya people, though they are emotional, they will not show a whisker of emotion, they will not show a small twitch of emotion on their face, but they will do everything which is required as per the duty of a son or a daughter or anybody, whoever it is with an Amavasya in their chart. So please do not fear Amavasya, but check whether the basic character of the person, if it is good, then an Amavasya person can do better than anybody else. So thank you very much for today's class.